Welcome back. It's time to stop living in fear. So I'm hearing a lot of things about people fear-mongering too much and needing to not live in this fear. And I'm having a disconnect because I find it more viable to be fearful of a disease that is going to kill people with underlying diseases and permanently harm people who don't have underlying diseases, and even cause stroke in young people without underlying diseases. But they say not to be fearful of this disease, yet those are also usually the same people who say that they need to own firearms because they are fearful of strangers breaking in their house in attempts to kill them. What? I don't get it. It just seems more viable to me to be scared of this disease, which is able to harm everyone, than to be scared of an economy that's going to crash. You look at the options are mass death or a bad economy. And while we have made it through both, we, the people who are listening, but not everyone who lived in all those times, like everyone who lived through a crashed economy has made it through a crashed economy. Everyone who lived in times of a pandemic did not live in a pandemic. A lot of them died, which is very selfish to me. It's also very irresponsible, inconsiderate, ignorant, arrogant, everything that constitutes to not being an intelligent person. Even if you're not scared of it, it's great that you value the economy over the life of your loved ones and people who are close to you. I have just come to an absolute disconnect where we are in a pandemic affecting over 4 million people worldwide, 80,000 deaths in the US, and people's main concern is still the economy. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. Like, the measures that we're going through, like social distancing, you can't manage to stay over 6 feet away from someone. A mask, you can't go into a store without a mask. It's that much of an inconvenience. I'm seeing this argument that you're going to have to breathe in the CO2 that you expel when you wear a mask. Masks aren't airproof, so that's actually going to be expelled through the mask. You're going to draw in fresh air that doesn't bring particles in. If you're wearing the correct mask, you're not just going to drop dead in a store from wearing a mask. People won't wear gloves. People won't take any of these social distancing rules. I find it less fear-mongering to be cautious and safe about a disease that could permanently harm you, rather than value your own financial status and wealth above the health of you and those around you. It seems like one is actually more about fear than the other, and I wouldn't put the wealth one about it, because the whole point of you wanting to go to your job is that you're scared you're going to be poor. You're probably privileged, or you're dumb because you were raised that way. There's always been a little hesitation in these things, because if I was saying what I wanted to say, it'd be more like everyone who doesn't believe this and doesn't think it's a problem and doesn't want to take these measures to protect the people around them should probably just go die from it. You can call that selfish. You can call that inconsiderate. But that's all these people are being. Everyone who's following the measures and wants this to end is doing the thing that will lead to it ending. They are the reason it is progressing, it is not stopping, it is continuing to spread, because they are pushing it, because they think wearing masks and standing 6 feet away from people is a loss of their freedom, and they're being controlled by the government for getting $1,200 stimulus checks and unemployment and food stamps and staying at home and not contributing to an economy or society. I don't know where it came from, but that's what they think. They are the selfish ones, and they can make up their own reasons. I keep hearing that it's here and it's not going to go away because it's here, but that's not how things work. That's not how viruses work or infections work. Maybe if it's like a lifetime infection, but everything that lives has to die. Viruses are living. Therefore, if they don't continue to spread and they become isolated into one area, they will die. If everyone followed the stay-at-home order and those who were infected stopped going out and spreading it, as well as those aren't infected stopped going out and giving the infected people the chance to infect them with it, then it would not be able to make the connect to the people who are uninfected, and it would therefore die off. It wouldn't continue to spread for at least 4 to 5 weeks. The infections and the spread, the whole rate of it would drop to very minuscule amounts. But people don't care. They don't think it's important. And it's so disappointing. My whole life I was told to focus in school and to pay attention to things and get good grades. And then I did that. And in classes, you learn how to see past biases and how to find good sources to find your statistics or to find explanations or claims. And then when you do that, people don't care to listen. When someone believes in something and you go against them, they're just more likely to stick to their point, which is difficult because when you use statistic and factual evidence against people who believe things that aren't backed by that, they just furthermore believe what they believed in the first place. They want to believe what they want to believe and they're stuck onto it. It's mind-boggling to live in a place with absolute freedom that claims pride against everyone else, even though they can't take the time to look into things and find correct answers. They just go onto social media and say, hey, this person that I know said this, so it must be true, and they don't claim anything. And they also think that if the government doesn't support something or say that it's a lie, that they're trying to hide it when they're just trying to stop the spread of false information that could be harmful to people, like the whole Plandemic documentary that claims you get COVID from wearing masks and washing your hands. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Just because Bill Gates said years ago that we weren't prepared for a pandemic, he's behind this. Just because he spoke about it, because he said we should do some preparing, people think he created it now and it's his fault. I don't understand the reasoning. There's no connections being made. It's all just assumptions. Saying to not live in fear when there is a pandemic is sort of like saying to not live in fear when there's a pandemic. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying you don't need to wear a seatbelt because you don't believe that you'll fly out of the car in a crash. There is a pandemic, undeniably. But you don't think you need the protection to prevent it, so you're just gonna come right and wipe you out? Cool. Hopefully it happens sooner than later so the rest of us can get back to our normal lives. Because of this, I have not been going to work. I've got some time still left off from going to work, but as long as things are going the way that they are, I will not be returning to work because I am not the pawn that you all claim people to be. So who is the pawn? The person who is going to say, I am not going to help the government or society because I want to watch out for my own safety and I'm going to stay home and protect myself? Or the person who says, I would rather put my own health and family at risk so I can go help these CEOs that make 380 times as much as me? I wonder. Even from a conspiracy theory point of view, it doesn't make any sense. If you're going to have a conspiracy theory, why would it be that the government wants to control you by having you not go to work and stay home and receive benefits from welfare and food stamps, rather than the conspiracy being that the disease is maybe worse than they're letting off? That's usually how conspiracy theories work. Conspiracy theories work about someone usually trying to hide something, not someone trying to give away a bunch of money. And they're not even really pushing it. They could be everyone's got to stay home. Instead they're can you guys stay 6 feet apart, possibly? They're just asking. It's a please, and people are still thinking that it's in some type of unconstitutional command Like the Constitution was written in the middle of a pandemic or something? Like it wasn't written by a bunch of racist guys who were slave owners back in times that had no idea what today would be like? It'd be like me writing a manual for hundreds of years from now. It's too late. It's a lost cause. There's going to be plenty of people who do not follow the logic or the science or the reasoning behind it, and they're just going to stick to their core beliefs because that's what they want to do, and that's what their mind is set to. And there's only two ways that this can go from here, because some people aren't even going to get a vaccine. It can go to where everyone gets immunity, or all of you people who don't believe it just get fucking wiped out, and the rest of us who do watch out for our safety and the better of humanity and those around us get to go back to our normal lives. I'm waiting it out. I'm seeing which way it goes. I'm hoping you guys don't have to like die off from it, but maybe you should just take it seriously, and then everyone wouldn't like fucking hate you. Like, you know, you ever hear how people hate America? This is part of the reason, because you guys are more obsessed with freedom than safety and well-being. Like, you're more worried about the economy during a pandemic than you are about the safety of our civilization. It's just very backwards and money focused. It's greedy. If anything, that's the best way I could describe it, is full greed. Your biggest focus is money. If you're religious, I'm sure that God would like for you to, I'm sure that the man up the I'm sure the creator of all of this would much rather have you value the life he created than the money that you created. Money is supposed to be like the root of all evil, correct? But all of you people who follow these religions are like focused on the economy more than everyone else's well-being. I just don't get it. Like, you're all backwards and fucking twisted up. Whatever though, that's my rant for today. You're probably not gonna listen. You never do. So I'll just keep doing me. You can keep doing you. Hopefully this ends soon. Y'all got two options, so choose wisely. Otherwise, it's gonna be time to unplug.